you've worked on two of the biggest IPOs in the world, Alibaba and Visa. And as the market is getting ready for the big IPO from the Middle East, Aramco, what are the things a company should consider when planning the world's biggest IPO?
Yeah, look, I think all global jumbo IPO issuers have the same baseline considerations. We start with positioning. So what is the right go-to-market positioning of the company? We move to valuation and benchmarking. So, who are the right peers? How are investors going to drive a valuation? What's the optimal capital structure? And then what's the right composition of the IPO? Do you have a primary need for use of proceeds? Is there a secondary sell down? And then you put that together in terms of what is the expected demand for the IPO and how do we size the IPO appropriately? And then there's a focus on the listing venue. Frankly, at Citi, as a leading global bank, we're somewhat agnostic on listing venue. It's our job to bring leading global investors to the corporate wherever they list.
Any guesses, New York or London?
No comment.
And speaking of emerging markets, we've been talking a lot about Chinese companies which were very active in the market in the last year, not so much this year. Are there constraints for them to get funding from banks, especially on the mega deals?
We don't really see constraints for China corporate financing. One thing to bear in mind is there is a very vibrant local financing market at very, very competitive and attractive terms for Chinese corporates. To the extent that there is industrial and strategic logic to target international financing, then Citi is there and many of our peers are available to finance China corporates. I think obviously, bear in mind that there's been recent implementation in China of capital controls. So there needs to be a sovereign advocacy in order to really get that international financing. But in terms of market readiness, absolutely, China corporates have access to international capital.